Today's mindful message is better questions equals better life. What does better questions equals better life? What does that mean? Well, as human beings, we're innately curious. But so often we end up with these questions that are actually hurting us rather than helping us. So we want to flip the switch to create change for you. Studies have been done to show that the average 4-year-old girl asks 390 questions a day. 390. But by the time that she grows up, she becomes an adult, it goes down to 25 to 30 a day. Now, yes, she's learned a lot along the way. But what else happens? Well, we've got the usual suspects, right? The patriarchy, oppression, xenophobia, homophobia, lived experience, the conditioning that we go through. There is a stigma where women don't feel safe asking questions. In fact, in 2019, a study was done at a medical conference. 50% of the speakers and moderators were women. 39% of the attendees were women, yet only 23% of the questions were asked by women. And if a woman asked the first question, then the others were more likely to ask questions. Can you imagine that? The pressure to be first. Do you want to be first all the time? But it created a safety. So without it, it wasn't safe. But where did the questions go? We didn't stop being curious. No, instead, they are just bouncing around our head, adding to the negative noise, creating irritation, likely towards people that matter the most, including ourselves. When we're asking ourselves these questions, we have so much happening, and 95% of our thoughts are unconscious. We might be thinking about the grocery list or a to-do list, as we're constantly talking about, but there are questions that actually are deeper underneath that. So we're asking ourselves things like, what am I not doing? Or how can I fix this? When we're thinking about others, we're asking, why can't they just? One of my clients, she has a deal with her husband. He makes breakfast for the kids in the morning, and she cooks dinner at night on school days. They've been doing this for years. But more often than not, he oversleeps, gets up in a rush, and then throws some Frosted Flakes or Lucky Charms into bowls for them. And she is irritated. Of course she is. Yet, the question of why can't he just wake up when the alarm goes off, plan properly, feed them something nutritious, all of those things, those questions that are naturally going to come up, they're actually hurting her. When we think of situations, the question is often, why couldn't this happen instead? We have expectations of the way we want something to turn out. Even when we don't realize we have that expectation, it's just deep in there. The secret desire, and then when it doesn't, that sucks. And it brings this question up, along with all the negative emotions. We spend a lot of time thinking about what's happening around us, the ways that we communicate with others. It's absolutely an important piece of the puzzle. Corporations lose an average of $15,000 per employee based on ineffective communication. But one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about working with women, with working with individuals, is because we have the power to ask others better questions when we first examine the questions we're asking ourselves. That's something corporations don't really get. But when you do that work, when you ask yourself better questions, you can bring that to every other area of your life. So that's where we're going to spend some time focusing. Now, when we look at this question, what am I not doing? This is actually a question I ask myself probably every day. What am I not doing? And as a business owner, especially as a solopreneur that spend a lot of time trying to figure that out, it's massive. But it doesn't just apply to business. And that's not where it started.
You see, these questions that come up, these hidden questions, these big questions that seem to make sense, are actually rooted much deeper from a place of pain, from a place of hurt. So I'm going to share something. I don't speak about this much because I'm still in the process of it, of working through it. But I was raised in an abusive home. I've spoken before about abuse from my grandfather, but I have abusive parents as well. And one of the things that happened there was my role was the peacemaker. I kept everybody happy. And whether it was entertaining, doing a dance, being silly, learning to be funny, being the one person that was soothing my sisters, emotionally soothing my parents. If I did that, maybe, just maybe, I could be safe. Maybe I could earn love. Maybe I could earn safety. So now, when that question comes up, what it's really doing is feeding the narrative that I have to earn everything, that I'm not enough. What am I not doing that will allow me to deserve something I want? And wanting something is a whole other shame spiral. How do you measure when you've earned anything? When things like safety and love were just a carrot dangling in front of you. So these deeper questions that we ask ourselves, they are actually survival tactics. Curiosity at its core is a survival skill. We deserve the opportunity to ask better questions. So I've broken it down. We need better processes to understand how to do this. I had said in the email to bring your human design chart if you have it. If you don't, it's okay. But I want to utilize that as a clue for you to understand how to access better questions. So within your human design, there are 5 different archetypes, and each of them has a not self aspect. And the not self is basically showing you that something is out of balance within you. The manifester experiences anger. The projector is bitterness. Reflector is disappointment. Generator is frustration. And the manifesting generator can experience anger or frustration. Yes, as human beings, we experience a range of emotions. These are themes, though, that you will see coming up more and more often than some of the others. It's this real, like, ooh, that hit me. I get it. Your clue to say, all right, something isn't right here. Now, if you don't have your chart, I just want you to basically think about the fact that you're feeling something that doesn't feel good. That's clue enough. When you explore human design and you're really experimenting with it, you'll start to see that theme come up even more. And it's a great alert because when we're in survival, when our brains are just running, it's hard to see anything. So you've got your clue. And then you're going to write down the question that's running you. And now maybe it is some of those tactical things, what you have to do next, what's going on. Get it all out of your head. Can you get to that core question? And then I'm going to have you regulate your nervous system. I am always going to talk about this because mindfulness is scientifically proven to get you out of survival. Yes, we are innately curious as human beings, but as we mature, we actually have the skill set and desire to use epistemic curiosity. And that level of curiosity is based in knowledge seeking. We cannot seek knowledge when we're in survival. Or what we're looking for, it's not going to be complete. We can't see clearly. So we want to be able to access the frontal lobe. And we do that using mindfulness as a technique. So once you've done that, then you're going to write down 10 different questions. It can be 5, it's fine. But you're going to use the filter of, does this question support me? What am I not doing? Does that feel good? It's another way to think about it. Does this make me feel good? So use that when you write those questions, use the filter. Does this question support me? See if it is the question that is the next place you need to go. And then when you figure out what that question really is, celebrate. Celebrate your brilliance. We do not celebrate enough. It can be a dance party. I'm always number one fan of a dance party. It could be a little shimmy. It could be a joke. It could be a walk around the block. I don't care. But celebrate. Give yourself that moment. Tell yourself how awesome you are. Because you are. And taking the moment to even do this is something worth celebrating. We're going to do a mindfulness break because you deserve it. And we want to get you into a different headspace. So you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever feels good for you. But I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. And if you can, an audible exhale. Get the noise out. Another deep breath in. Audible exhale. One more deep breath in. Audible exhale. And you can keep your eyes open or closed, but I want you to the best of your comfort level and ability, to squeeze your fists. And then as you're squeezing those, squeeze your forearms, right? Then tighten your biceps. Keep squeezing, don't hurt yourself, but squeeze your shoulders. Squeeze your stomach, your chest. Squeeze, feel, notice this tension in your body. And then release it. And just notice the difference. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes. We have the ability now to see questions differently, where what am I not doing becomes what am I doing that I haven't acknowledged or celebrated? Remember, you're worth celebrating. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to earn approval. You're awesome as you are. And so many times when you go through have I not acknowledged, you're like, oh man, I am a superstar. Look at everything I've already done. Remember the client whose husband was pumping sugar into the kids because he just couldn't get out of bed. The question to her was, why does it bother her so much? And what actually was happening was that she was beating herself up for the kids not eating nutritious foods. So then the follow-up question was, what am I telling myself about me as a mom based on their eating habits? And if she gets to the point of being able to look outside of what's happening within, and it's okay if she doesn't right then, instead of, why can't he just get out of bed on time? Maybe it becomes, I wonder what's getting in his way. Isn't that more interesting? Doesn't that feel better? When we look at the situations, why couldn't this happen instead? Becomes, what about this situation makes me uncomfortable and why? And I love this. If I could design an ideal scenario, what would that look and feel like? Because a few things will happen. Number one, it's like, I really don't care that much about this. We're good. Or, maybe I'm not actually sure. Great information. Or, hey, I've got some really good clarity on it. I'm putting some vision around it. I've got some words to communicate it. Set up what I really want. Everybody's winning. When you ask yourself these better questions, you are rewriting your narrative. You stop being an extra in your life, you become the main character. So I'm offering something fun, a curiosity calibrator. Now, what we're going to do in this 30 minutes is we'll go through this process. We'll figure out if there is something that is just rattling in your mind. You know there is, but you can't seem to get to what that root question is, or you've got the root question, but you can't see outside of it because, man, this life is just lifing. We're going to get through it. We're going to get some clarity around it. We're going to decide, is this question even something you really care about? Or, hey, guess what? A solution comes because when you get to this point of asking these better questions, amazing insight comes your way. And selfishly, I like being a part of that. It's fun. So take a picture of this, put some time on my calendar, do it now while we're on the call. I'm actually going to put the link in the chat so you've got it there. But let's spend 30 minutes and get through the noise.